Oh, good evening, Mr. Sheen. Are you winning?
No, he's smoking right now.
Now, of course, that is the new hit song by Snoop Dogg and Charlie Sheen. Guess what it's called, Patrick?
Succeeding.
That's Winning. And we have listened to this. We couldn't hear Charlie Sheen in there at all.
No. It says Winning featuring Charlie Sheen and Rob Patterson. Yeah. Rob Patterson, guitarist from Korn.
Yeah, we had to Google that, by the way.
Yeah.
That's how famous Rob Patterson is.
I'm sure he's very famous with his group and demographic of people. Korn?
Oh yeah, they were they're churning out those hits.
Sounds like Korn. It's 1997, right?
That's right.
But we're gonna get angry emails from the Korn lovers.
Oh well.
So Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen, yeah. Let's turn it down.
Is his Torpedoes of Truth tour, is that over?
I believe it is. They came to Vancouver on Election Day.
Yeah, came to Vancouver on Election Day, and Russell Peters was supposed to be his opening act.
That's right.
Apparently Russell went on, did 30 seconds, and brought up Charlie Sheen. They had the couch, no sketches, no videos, no nothing.
Oh.
And Rogers Arena holds 19,000 people.
Yes.
That they tarped off the upper echelon,
I've seen them do that in smaller shows.
Yeah, so it's 8,000 they had it set up for, and 3,000 showed up.
Ooh,
and that includes the massive ticket giveaways.
Would you call that winning?
I call it by winning. Yeah, it was, and apparently I talked to some people who were there. They said it was exceptionally disappointing. Not because, people say, well, what do you expect when you go there? People are like, well, I expected, even for Russell, and this is what my friend said. They said they expected Russell to even kind of guide Charlie into, tell us a story about what happened in Vegas with you and the girl, and how did you lose your watch, and how did you talk about your addiction, how did you become addicted? That's the type of stuff that people really wanted to hear, and nothing.
Well, this is the thing about this Charlie Sheen tour. It's been hot and cold, depending on his mood, because there isn't really a set format per se. He's not doing an act.
Right.
It's and you know what? Honestly, it really, how much you enjoy it, I think, depends on how much you just want to hear Charlie Sheen talk. Now, if you're the kind of person though, Patrick, who's into it, you think that Charlie Sheen's lifestyle is awesome to be emulated. You look up to him as as the ultimate dude. Then yeah, of course you're gonna go. You're gonna do that little rock star thing.
Yeah. And the thing is though, it's like when you listen to him talk, people are saying it's just like listening to an ex-crack addict talk.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, oh, this is okay, I guess, whatever. But it would just be, they said it would have been more interesting if he had taken some time, done either some sketches, or he had just at no point. It wasn't even set up for people from the audience to ask questions properly.
Unfortunately, Charlie's a busy boy. He's got a lot going on. In fact, you know what? We should do a regular segment on this podcast. Which, by the way, if you've noticed, we've gone back to our roots. All the audio format.
That's right.
Because Patrick was scaring the children. It was not good.
That. And you can't download YouTube.
That's right.
We were told by many people that they would download this and listen to this on their iPod.
Yeah.
To which I said, really?
I think that's the obvious reaction. But you know what? We want to be on your iPod.
That's right.
We do.
We want to be
sandwiched. We want to be your iPod.
We want it sandwiched in between Lonely Islands.
And Korn.
Yeah, Lonely Island with their new Michael Bolton.
That's awesome.
That was funny. What is it? The Legend of Jack Sparrow and Korn.
Yeah,
that's where we want to be.
That is funny stuff. Now, Charlie Sheen. We should call. Maybe we should call this segment "This Week in Sheen."
This Week in Sheen.
This Week in Sheen. We need a theme song. Winning. This Week in Sheen. What's Charlie up to this week? Well, he's apparently being offered a role on Entourage.
Makes sense.
That makes sense. I mean, that's that kind of show. He's that kind of guy. That would be a natural. But there was also a.
Did they say how much you get paid for that role?
You know what? I don't think they pay very much on that.
Did they say how many episodes it would be?
I'm assuming just one.
Yeah.
Well, you've seen that show, right? It's like a celebrity will walk on for 20 seconds, say, "Yo, Vince, what's up?"
Yeah.
And and then that's it. But
yo, Vince, you're putting on some weight. How are we supposed to believe that you're a leading man still?
Right. But now there's also been some talk that he's planning to take a role in a sitcom on a network that is not CBS.
Oh, all right.
That'd be sticking it to the man, as they say.
If it's successful.
If it
What's do they say what network?
They don't. It's all a big mystery.
Now,
he's
are
asking for $1 million an episode.
Now, are these rumors that are being floated by Charlie?
You know, it may well be.
It's whenever. One thing I've learned is that when it comes to unnamed sources, in regards to Charlie Sheen, a lot of times it ends up being Charlie Sheen as the unnamed source. When you do a little bit of research and you call a couple of people, you're just like, oh, Charlie is the rumor.
Kind of like how whenever there's a Lindsay Lohan rumor, it's always her parents.
It's always
mom or dad. Now, of course, they're making plans to relaunch this thing.
Yes.
Without Charlie Sheen.
Chuck Lorre wants 2.5 Men like a reboot.
Exactly. A Sheenless 2.5 Men.
Yeah.
And
2.5 Men has lost its sheen.
Now, if you haven't seen this, Charlie Sheen wrote a letter to Chuck Lorre. Basically saying...
Was it rambling and crazy?
Oh, hell yeah. Basically, he's saying, Charlie says, "Dear Chuck, good luck, Chuck. My fans may tune in for a minute, but at the end of the day, no one cares about your feeble show without me. Shame on you. Not even a phone call to the man that put you on the map, the man that put $500 million in your pockets. You were on your way out of Warner Brothers with a buyout and a cup of cold coffee in your shaky and clammy hands. Then I walked into your office and you created a show based on my awesome life."
Wow.
I mean, then basically blah, 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 rant, rave. Then he sums up, no Charlie Sheen, no show. And that's exactly what it will be for you and your desperate vanity cards. Every Monday night, a no-show. The ratings right now are not a fluke. It's a big fat mess. A 2.0 demo? That sucks. Almost as bad as you. You've been warned. Reap the whirlwind, you cockroach. Reap it. Signed, your pal, Charlie.
Nah. I was going to say, when the people who come to defend you are people like Roseanne Barr.
Yeah, well, you know, so clearly...
like Roseanne Barr was like, I remember when Chuck Lorre was on my show, and who knew that him writing these dick jokes would make him a success? And I'm just like, you know what, Roseanne... The fact that you're slagging Chuck and Charlie is slagging Chuck, like I used to be a Charlie Sheen fan, but after, like with all the stuff that's going on now, you're just like, well, he's... Well, and listen, he's put it out there for everybody to see. And the fact that, yes, we used to appreciate the fact that he was unapologetic about everything he did. But now that he doesn't have those handlers, those controllers and you're just like, this does not end well.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the end game in this, where's this heading? You know, where's this going? I mean, I don't see him galloping off into the sunset. It doesn't seem happy. But, the show must go on, as they say, and that show, 2.5 Men. Interesting facts. Did you hear the latest that Hugh Grant was in talks?
Hugh Grant?
Hugh Grant. You know, the kind of fumbling, hey, I'm just terribly sorry.
I'll tell you this right now. Hugh Grant could do far worse than getting paid $2.5 million to hang around a set in L.A.
$25 million, my friend. They're offering $1 million an episode for a 25-episode season, and believe me, he ain't getting $25 million in movies these days.
Not even
so.
Close.
That'd be it. But apparently talks broke down at the last minute. Now there's a bit of a time crunch because next week is what they call the upfronts. That's when CBS is going to announce their new fall lineup. And they'd love to be able to bring the new star of 2.5 Men, and they're looking at A-list, big-name people. They'd love to be able to make that presentation.
I guarantee you, Hugh Grant's people were like, you're a movie star, not a TV star, you're going to devalue your brand. But I'll tell you this right now, because what were they paying Charlie? $2 million a
1.8, I think.
1.8? Mm-hmm. Hugh Grant is worth $2 million an episode for 25 episodes for what he will bring to the television.
Yeah.
I'd watch that. I would watch that. I'm not even a Hugh Grant fan.
Maybe once,
but I understand what he would bring, and it would be very, very interesting to see him on that show. It would be.
Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of backstage shenanigans going on here because...
What?
Now, apparently Chuck Lorre, his basic feeling is, you know what? Enough of this show already. I got 2 other shows on the network that are killing me.
Big Bang Theory, which is doing exceptionally well.
Very well. Mike and Molly, doing okay.
I think Mike and Molly's only doing well for the same reason that Seth MacFarlane's Cleveland show, or American Dad is doing well.
Quite likely.
It's part of that ensemble.
But, there are people watching it, so he's gotten those. But the bigger issue at stake is the money. This thing is sold into syndication, 2.5 men. And the money just, it's just ka-ching, ka-ching constantly. And what I didn't realize, though, is with this syndication deal, there is a Charlie Sheen clause in the stations that bought this for syndication. It's the cable companies... here we go. The terrestrial contracts, which basically are the stations that run it in syndication.
Oh, okay, right.
Have a contractual agreement to, keep the share on, but they will only carry the show as long as Sheen was, quote, of the essence in each episode. So, obviously, whoever negotiated these deals maybe knew a little something about Charlie Sheen and said, yeah, you know what? I don't want to buy this show if Charlie Sheen's not on it.
Right.
There's a good possibility he may not be.
Right.
Now, once Sheen's gone, the stations could, feasibly wriggle out of their contracts and not have to pay anymore.
But the ratings are so good that...
Sure. Now, which would suggest that if they got a Hugh Grant or somebody big time who would basically bring the butts in the seats, then that wouldn't be a concern because the stations would be happy with the replacement and,
continue
business as usual.
Yeah. Man.
So we'll see what happens there.
It would be interesting, but I'm just saying, if I'm CBS, I'm telling Hugh Grant, fine, $50 million it is. Because the amount of money, for that extra $25 million, the amount of money that you would bring in would be, and publicity, et cetera, would be exceptional.
Honestly, I don't think that was the issue, because from what I'm reading here, he was offered $1 million an episode, which, I think was great money for him, but he pulled out at the last minute because over creative differences. And maybe he read a script. Maybe he watched an episode and went, ooh, really? This is what you Americans think is funny?
No worse than what he's been in.
Good point.
What was that movie with him and, she was in Charlie's Angels, Drew Barrymore, the movie he did with Drew Barrymore, where he played the aging rocker, and she's just there to water his plants, and they fall in love with each other. What the heck? I can't even remember what the name of it was.
You know what? So unmemorable. We don't even... Something in music.
Yeah, it was exceptionally average.
Exceptionally average. Yeah, that's the kind of... You could really say that for a lot of his movies. And you know what? I think that's it for another installment of This Week in Sheen.
Well, I'll tell you this much: if Hugh Grant does get it,
he won't.
We'll be the people who broke it.
Oh, yeah. We didn't just read it in Deadline Hollywood.
Yeah, you would have to.
We sourced this story ourselves.
I'll tell you what. If not Hugh Grant, who do you think would work?
Wow. Who would work? That's a tough one.
What about Brandon Routh? The guy who played Superman. He's literally doing nothing right now. But he's a good-looking guy.
I think I saw him pumping gas last week.
Exactly. But he's literally doing nothing. But
you know what? They got to get a big name. I'm thinking like a Sean Penn, who would never do it.
No, not in a million years.
It's got to be someone of that stature. Someone who you would never think of.
Right. It's got to be like Hugh Grant.
Like Hugh Grant.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be somebody of. I'm trying to think.
Eddie Murphy. He used to be funny.
Back in the 80s. Remember the 80s?
The 80s, yeah.
Before some of you were born?
Sure.
You could get Rob Lowe would work.
Yeah, but he's already, in fact, he was on their list, but he's already committed to Parks and Recreation.
Oh, so his character's staying in there?
Oh, yeah, he's signed on. So, yeah, but he was right there. He was like #1 on the list.
Wow.
Because he's got the comedy chops.
What about Judd Nelson?
Judd Nelson? Are we just going through the Rat Pack?
Yeah. What about Judd Nelson?
Judd Nelson, why not?
Judd Nelson would do it for half of... Judd Nelson would do it for $50 in a sandwich.
Just pocket change. Ali Sheedy.
Oh, you can't have a girl.
We're going through I don't know, Molly Ringwald.
What else I think
Anthony Michael Hall.
Oh, God, no. Judd Nelson would work.
And Tone. With Judd Nelson? Well, okay.
I think people would watch.
Sure.
I think that would be John Cryer would be just like, really?
This guy again?
Got to play second fiddle to everybody from the 80s?
Well, it is actually good news for John Cryer because he's going to get a bigger role on the show. He's going to become the anchor, so, good for him.
Well, there you go. In conclusion, Judd Nelson or Hugh Grant, and congratulations to you, John Cryer.
Yes.
There you go. Play us out. Can you play us out?
Play us out with another fine musical rendition of Winning.
When it's just the beginning, Charlie Sheen and Brent.